Hello, everybody. Joe Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Tsukihime Remake, where I almost had an audio fuck up because my PC restarted last night, and I almost didn't set my microphone in OBS. Because even though every single time I set the default to my fucking Yeti Nano, Micro Nano, I don't know. It's been serving me well for over 5 years, and it's a little fucking piece of shit I got for like $60 at Walmart. Little USB mic. I know people who are actually into like microphones and audio are wincing and like cringing at that, but in all honesty, it fucking works. It does its job. I have like another backup microphone on my desk, which is awful. Like I can get people being mad about that. Like it's echoey. Uh, it has like 360 degrees, like where it picks up the sound. Where this one you can set it to only be like conical in towards the front of the mic, so it reduces the echo a bit. It's got some noise canceling, so that way you won't hear the box fan and the window AC unit I got running behind me. But yeah, I should probably upgrade it. I don't really got a lot of room on my desk though for like us like proper like sound equipment, like a good soundboard and microphone and like all that stuff. Of course, that's just an excuse because it's new equipment, and that means there's a learning curve, and that means it's scary, and that's the real reason I don't want to get it. But one of these days, I'll have to man up and actually get a real microphone. But that day is not today. But I did get some new equipment yesterday, and nothing that will really affect recording. But it's time to retire my old keyboard. You know, it's served me well, but a lot of the keys, the switches are starting to go. Like the space bar, some of the letter keys. Either you hit it and it hits it twice, or you hit it and it doesn't do anything, and you gotta kind of like push it down and wiggle it to get it to register, and then it decides to register like 5 times when you're wiggling it. So I made the executive decision to buy a new keyboard. And I gotta say, the new one, it's really nice. It's, what is it? I forget the exact one, but it's like a DOS keyboard, like milled aluminum. It's got a little volume knob on the top corner, which I really like. My old keyboard had one too, but it was like a kind of a wheel where you just flipped it. You just, kind of flicked it with your finger, went and it like, cranked the computer volume all the way up. And this one, it's a little more like indented knob where you turn it and it goes click, 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 click. Which I do like the tactile clickiness of it, but it's nice and heavy. I like heavy things. Like it's the reason I'm using the mouse that I do. Uh, oh god, what is it? Logitech G502, because it comes with so many metal weights and it's heavy to begin with that it's got some like heft to it, and it doesn't feel like it's gonna crumble in your hands. Like if you get like if you've ever been traveling and you've had to get like a $5 little tiny USB mouse at like I don't even know where you would get one, like I guess Walmart, but I'm talking like at the hotel kind of little store they have in there. Some of the big hotels have them. Also, my ear just popped and it's ringing like crazy. That's great. Uh, I could tell because I'm like weird. The little birds chirping in the background sounds entirely different right now, and it feels like a fucking bomb went off next to my head. That was strange. But yeah, those little cheap shitto mice, they ain't it, chief. Though I did also order a new mouse when I ordered my keyboard, but it's only for like playing FF14 because it's got 16 uh like numpad keys on the side, like where you rest your thumb if you're right-handed, which 16 might honestly be too much. Like if I'm being realistic here, but I think I can make it work. Like I can use 9 of them as my standard like hotkeys, and then the other 7 I can use those. I can assign those to be like quick target party members if I'm playing like healer or something, so that way I don't have to fumble around with the F1 through 9 keys on the very top of the keyboard. Like, those ones are awful. Fucking hot tip, if you ever start playing an MMO, immediately rebind your keys if it's available, because normally they'll be like, oh yeah, just, 1 through fucking 0 on the top of your keyboard, but you move with like WASD, so that's like stretching your thumb all the way over to hit like 9 while you're using your pinky to move, and it's just crazy. Like, kind of go like 1 through 4, then like QE, RT, F, Z, XC or something. That's what I do. It makes your life a whole lot easier because everything's just clustered right there, and you don't have to do like weird fucking Mr. Elastic or Plastic Man stretchy stuff to hit all your hotkeys. But yeah, it's pretty much been my day. Well, past couple days. Plus a lot of training going on at work. Not like important fun training, just kind of like death by PowerPoint and doing shitty online training, which unfortunately they keep updating. It used to be, you just open the training program and you just mash skip on like all the slides, just like as soon as the video starts, you can just be like, next slide, next slide, next slide, and then it's like, oh, you finished your hour training in 5 minutes? Like, good job. And like, sure, there's a test at the end. You need to get like an 80% on it or something, the information in the presentation. But I've been doing this for coming up on a decade, so I'm not saying I know everything, but training that I do every fucking year, I know, which is kind of the point of it. But they've been updating the whatever program they use to disable the next slide feature until like the video progress bar gets all the way to the end. And a couple years ago, you used to be able to like just click on the progress bar and drag it all the way to the end, so that way you could like skip 5 minutes of a fucking slide. But now they've disabled that too, so you're just stuck there, sitting there. And what's doubly awful is a lot of these computers, they don't have speakers. Either they're like the really tiny, thin towers where they don't have a built-in speaker, or the monitors don't have built-in speakers, and there's no like external like speaker plugins, and there's no subtitles, so you're just watching this video play in complete silence. Like, I don't even know what they're talking about, and then you have to take a test on it, and it's just awful. And then they made us sign a bunch of NDAs. So you guys are lucky. You will no longer have to hear me rant and rave about work and whatnot, because now I am actually there are legal mechanisms in place in case I accidentally say something I shouldn't. So, to err on the side of caution, I will just not be saying anything about work anymore. Which, in all honesty, I shouldn't be to begin with, but I'm like a gossipy hen, and I love stirring the pot. I love instigating drama. I love listening to drama. I love sharing drama. So the fact that I will no longer be able to, meet with the old girls, at the grocery store and be like, did you hear about Sergeant Doe's wife? She backed the van into the commissary right through the window, and now it's closed. Can't do that. Well, I'm pretty sure you can. It's mainly to stop us from posting shit on Facebook. Like many careers, there's Facebook pages for it, and uniquely to the military, it's split up into enlisted and commissioned. Enlisted, you're fucking, your privates, your corporals, your sergeants, like that kind of thing, and then commissions, your lieutenants, your captains, your majors, like all those guys with the shiny brass. The lower enlisted tend to be pretty disgruntled because their jobs suck and they hate it, and they feel like the recruiters lied to them, so they just go onto Facebook to bitch about everything. And there's an entire Facebook page, the Airman NCO Senior NCO page, where people just air their dirty laundry and send pictures of things that are happening on base, and a lot of times it's stuff that they shouldn't be, not like classified stuff, but like if someone backed an airplane into a light pole on the flight line. what's supposed to happen is like it's supposed to now it's like an investigation scene, you know. They're supposed to like sanitize it. No one touches anything. No one takes any pictures. The investigators come out. They do that, and then report to the command team and be like, "This is what happened." But lately it's been commander comes into work and someone's like, "Hey, did you see the thing on Facebook?" And he's like, "What?" And then that's how they're learning about things happening, and that is not the way things are supposed to go. So now we've all signed NDAs, so they can't. So now we can't do that, and then they can officially file not quite judicial, administrative. That's the word I was looking for. Administrative paperwork on these shit kids who do that. These dumb 18, 19-year-olds. Because most of the time, that's who it is. The little dumb newbies with less than 4 years in, fucking 6 months away from home. All they do is play on their phone, eat hot chip and lie, which I hate how accurate that sounds to some of these kids in general, but it is. It's one of my. I really like that. Eat, play on their phone, eat hot chip and lie. For some reason, I just like it. Anyway, we've been going on for more than 10 minutes, me ranting about nothing. So let's get on the road. We beat Vlav, we did it, and then we died in 2 stupid ways, which we shouldn't have, even attempted in the first place. Except for the throw. The throw one was kind of like a coin flip between throw and fly, but obviously, the more harebrained the scheme, the more complicated wheels and pulleys and little ropes and levers in it, the more likely it is to succeed. So we went with the fly and we won. Anyway. Hello. Tsukihime. Let's start. 12 minutes in. Soft rays of sunlight stir me from my sleep. My eyes are closed, but I sense the serenity surrounding me through my skin. The air is cool, but gentle. Feels like it's going to be a beautiful sunny day. Time for me to wake up and actually act like a student. I'd all but forgotten about school, well, with everything that happened these past 2 days. I open my eyes. I find myself in bed. My glasses neatly placed next to my pillow. Yeah, unfortunately that is a familiar ceiling, so we can't make an Evangelion reference. By force of habit, I put on my glasses before looking around. The sunlight streaming in through the window is so vivid, I can almost hear the rays sparkle. I take a deep breath, filling my lungs with fresh air. That's right, it's Sunday. No school today. I hear the hands of a clock ticking, offering a rhythm to the chirping of the birds outside. A pack. I don't think I've ever been more grateful to be met with such an ordinary morning.
よかった。
I'm not just grateful to have survived the night, or to have disposed of that vampire. After that gruesome experience, I'm just happy to be able to wake up to something that resembles normalcy. Normalcy? I guess normalcy is also right. I think normalcy. That's what I would infuse there, but I either or, fucking tomato. This morning feels like happiness itself. For an insignificant human like me, there's no greater reward than...
おはようございます。四季様。
Than seeing Hisui. Hello! Hello, my little cinnamon bun. The sudden greeting startles me into an upright position. I look over to find Hisui standing at attention in front of the door.
翡翠。
申し訳ありません。四季様がなかなかお気づきになられませんので、こちらから声をおかけしたのですが。
No, you just kind of blended in with the background, you know.
Oh.
You're doing like the Dave East Guardians of the Galaxy.
こっちこそ。ごめん。
It's like if I go slowly, I'm practically invisible. And that caught me off guard. My heart is pounding like crazy.
あれまだ7時前だけど。
Yeah, she just likes to watch you sleep.
四季様のお目覚めには少しばかり早い時間です。
だよね。じゃあ翡翠は何をしに来たんだ？
四季様を起こしに参りました。秋葉様からここ2日間の事情を説明してもらいますので、テコを使ってでも連れてくるようにとことづかっております。
Things that happened. Kia, these past 2 days. Explanation. Though I hear the words, it's as if they've lost all meaning. I spent about 10 seconds pondering them, resisting the temptation to abandon rational thought entirely. No matter how hard I try to think of one, I simply have no excuse for these past 2 days. I skipped school, I broke curfew, I basically went AWOL on a Kia. If you don't know, AWOL means away, without leave. She was already pretty mad at me when I didn't make it back before dark. I dread the image, the fury I'll face this time.
さ、翡翠。
To imagine. There we go. That's the word that was on screen, which makes a lot more sense.
控えめに言って、秋葉のやつ、怒ってる。
Fucking ballistic.
さあ、どうでしょうか。それは四季様が直にお確かめください。
Oh, that's not very nice, Hisui. Hisui sounds coldly unconcerned with my plight. You know, things would turn out like this. Would have done everything to get back, even if it meant crawling back. Wait, crawling back? It's like,
いや、ちょっと待った。
like, am I in one piece?
それ以前に、なんで部屋で眠ってるんだ俺。
四季様は昨夜の午前2時過ぎにお帰りになられました。玄関口で眠っていたのを姉さんが気づいてお部屋にお連れしたとのことです。
Did we look like we fucking jumped through a wood chipper? Still? You know, clothes ripped up? I'm sure, I don't know about the blood, but I'm sure, you know, all the missing holes were filled up by Ark's, you know, mystery goo she found on the ground. I stare at her, slack-jawed. Staying out late without a word, falling asleep on the doorstep. Sound like some stereotypical drunkard who missed the last train.
あいつ、人を猫か何かと一緒にしやがって。
My thoughts go back to Arcueid. Though I guess I should be thankful she at least carried me to the front door. Either way, I have a better grasp of the situation now. Now, when they say front door, do they mean like the door to the mansion or like the front gate? Because those are two separate things. Because, you know, they definitely have security cameras. And like, okay, like, he didn't open the gate. How the fuck he even get in? And then, you know, they just see Arcueid carrying him over her shoulder like a sack of potatoes and then just dumping him on the ground. And playing Ding Dong Dash.
すぐに行くから、秋葉にはできるだけ落ち着くように言っておいてくれると嬉しいんだけど。
This is that like white hot seething, you know, kind of anger.
申し訳ありません。それは諸事情によりお断りいたします。
Just go fucking take your lumps. Her answer is simple and to the point. My standing in the Tono household, I've hit rock bottom. He is the head of the family, so it comes as zero surprise that I've got no allies. At any rate, I should get up. I won't get anything done by staying in bed. Ow. The second I stand up, my legs feel like they might explode. Of course, if there's anything I should be surprised about, it's the fact that I lived to see another morning. It's a wonder I survived, considering all the reckless stuff I did.
四季様、
My legs, I think I got hit by a car. Hisui.
いかがなされましたか。汗がすごく。
That's true. My forehead is drenched in sweat. It only took one step for my body to become feverish with pain.
お体の調子が優れないのでしたら、もうしばらくお休みになられた方がよろしいのではないでしょうか。先ほどはああ申しましたが、秋葉様には
いや、大丈夫。ただの捻挫だ。すぐに収まるよ。
Oh, getting right out of bed? Yeah, I've done that. I almost threw my back out getting up from bed.
それより、秋葉の方が怖い。
It's like, oh man, I woke up
先延ばしにしたら余計に怒られそうだ。
Flipped off the blankets and sheets. you know, kind of did like a pivot and like just kind of flung myself off the mattress, you know, standing up. But then in that motion from getting from the mattress to upright, just my back said, nope, you're old, and went, and I'm like, oh, and then had to get like a hot compress and have some Tylenol. I can tell from her eyes that Hisui doesn't believe me. But her position prevents me from calling out my obvious lie. Prevents her from calling out my obvious lie. I feel bad, but she'll just have to accept it for now.
着替えたらロビーに行くよ。すぐに済ませるから廊下で待っといてくれ。
かしこまりました。
Yeah, just be on standby if you hear a thump of us, you just fall into the floor.
どうかご無理はなさいませんようお願いします。
Hisui bows deeply and leaves the room. Moving as little as possible, I change out of my pajamas. Oh, it's like when I broke my ribs. I fell in the tub a couple years ago. I was trying to hit a fly that landed on my towel outside the shower. And normally I have an anti-slip mat because, you know, I know how dangerous it is to fall in the shower. But I'd taken it out to wash it. And so when I like threw my arm back to hit the fly, you know, Newton's law, you know, equal opposite reaction, my feet came out from underneath me because the fucking floor is soaking wet. And I landed right on the corner of the tub with like my ribs like kind of under my armpit, like not quite at the armpit, but like kind of like 7 inches below the armpit, just right into the corner. And I was on the ground for probably 5 minutes, just like trying to breathe and stay alive. And then, you know, I got up and I'm like, oh fuck, that really hurts. But there's not really much you can do for a broken rib. I'm like, it's not poking anything, it's just cracked. So I'm like, I guess I'll just get some icy hot and a bunch of Tylenol and just be miserable for the next month. Which is exactly what I did. Sleeping sucked. You can't roll over, otherwise you wake up in shooting pain, so I had to make like a pillow for it. Like make a little recliner out of pillows, so that way, you know, they're wedged in on either side because I'm sleeping kind of sitting up because I can't lie down and put pressure on it either. I can't bend over except at the hip. You know, got to keep my torso completely rigid if I'm like tying my shoes or something, or bending over to pick something up. It was just awful. Don't break your ribs. It sucks. What a way to start my first day off at the mansion in 7 years. I find Hisui waiting for me in the hall. The wound on my left leg makes me want to scream with every step. The rest of my body feels heavy too, and that's just due to muscle soreness. Nothing too severe. I only checked by running my fingers across my skin, but it seems the cuts I got when Vlov's ice slashed my face and shoulders have healed as well. It's clearly Arcueid's work, given how I can't find the slightest trace of those wounds. Trace that the wounds were there. She did say she was going to heal me up.
シキ様、差し出がましいこととは存じますが、こちらをお使いください。
Get us a cane.
お
Hisui timidly hands me a long, slim rod. It's a walking stick. No, a cane.
よくあったね、こんなの。
はい。以前、用具室で見た覚えがありましたので、
It's like, ah, yes,
一縷
this
の
thing.
望みをかけて 探して
Dad
まい
used
り
to
まし
beat
た。
me with it, you know? I almost laugh at her earnestness until I realize her breathing is slightly elevated. She must have run there and back for me in the short time I was changing.
ありがとう。正直歩くたびにかかとから飛び上がりそうだったんだ。すごく助かる。
はい。お役に立てたのなら幸いです。
Maybe we'll look weak and, you know, feeble, and Akio will be less angry at us. Grasping the cane, I shift the weight being supported by my left leg into my arm. I should have no problem walking out. I thank Hisui again for her thoughtfulness, and together we make our way to the lobby. Doesn't take long to arrive. I leave the cane next to the door. On the other side of this door is the head of the Tono household, a younger sister by 1 year. She's waiting to hear her pitiful brother's equally pitiful excuses. Can't even imagine what terrible fate awaits me inside. But now isn't the time to be whining. I brought this on myself, regardless of the circumstances. I skipped a day of school and didn't come home for 2 whole days. It's only natural that Akia would want an explanation. I should. Hold on, I have to actually get up the guide, because when I reset my computer, closed all my web browsers, lost all my 15 different tabs of random bullshit I had up. So I'm gonna pull it up on my phone. Oh jeez, oh, we're losing so much time. Embarrassing. We'll just get on the ground and grovel. Let's try that.
そうだな。それが一番いいと思う。
I can't tell her about Arcueid or Vlov. They just sound like a bunch of nonsense, and I shouldn't get Akia involved in this mess anyway. So the truth is a no-go, but at the very least I owe her an earnest apology. Just say you got caught up in that thing last night, because that's valid. You know, that's half your excuse. Like, but then you know you gotta build up a backstory for why you were even there to begin with.
よし、行くぞ。
But who knows? Maybe that'll get you some pity points. And I take a deep breath and open the door to the parlor.
Ohayo gozaimasu, Nii-san.
Hello, Imoto.
不思議と、ずいぶん久しぶりな気がしますね。
How does she manage to be this intimidating?
いや、おはよう、アキハ。
挨拶は結構ですから、そこに座ってください。ええ、いろいろと長くなるはずですものね。
Just a little. Something tells me she's enjoying this. It's like she's a cat and I'm the mouse. With our conversation off to a terrible start, maybe it'd be better for me to run for the hills.
兄さん。
おう、座りますとも。
Yep, on the couch. All thoughts of escape have been dispersed by Kia's glower. Glower? I think it's glower. I endure the pain coursing through my left leg and sit down gingerly on the sofa.
座りましたよ。
Yeah, but it looked like it fucking killed you to do it.
言わずともわかります。妙な態度でこちらの規制をそがないでください。卑怯です。
なんで卑怯なんだ？
You're not playing to your role, you know. She's supposed to be the stern family head admonishing you, and you're supposed to be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my dear sister, leaving you alone in this big cold house for so long with nary a word." You know, you take it seriously, gosh.
卑怯でしょ。そんな顔されたら気が緩む。
Akia stops herself mid-sentence with a cough, then sharpens her glare further yet.
兄さん、早速ですが、おとといと昨日のお話を聞かせていただけませんか？
Akia composes herself, elegantly taking her teacup into her hand. Although she phrased it as a question, it was unmistakably a command. But as her older brother, I can't just let her know about what happened. I'd rather she hate me than have her worry about me.
それなんだけど、アキハ。
はい。何でしょう。
率直に言って、事情は説明できないんだ。
The shattering of porcelain fills the room as Akia's teacup falls from her hand onto the table. No, it would be more accurate to say she deliberately dropped it.
秋葉様、
You know, it'll get on the carpet.
ああ、ごめんなさい、スイ。片付けてもらえる？
The tone is enough to make to make a fucking frog appear in my throat. That's what I get for recording as soon as I wake up. Tone is enough to make cold sweat drip down my spine. Without another word, Hisui begins cleaning up the spilled tea and the shards of the exorbitantly expensive-looking teacup. Oh, damn. Kia sounds seriously pissed. Hisui exits the parlor as soon as she finishes cleaning.
それで、兄さん、
何？
この2日間の出来事を
Yeah, let's
詳
try
しく
this
話
again.
していただけますか？
Did time just rewind? She's clearly not planning to let this go. But there's no way I can tell her what happened. Not only for my sake, but for hers too. Now, farm those pity points, dude. Kia can never know the truth.
何度聞かれたって話せないものは話せない。アキアには余計な心配をさせて悪かったと思ってる。連絡を入れなかったことも謝る。
Ooh,
だけど、
that might
話せないことは
drag
話せない。
into this, this budding sibling relationship.
私に悪いと思っているのに話せないんですね、兄さんは。弁明もしないのですか？
I signed an NDA.
いや、それは。
Now, there's a lot of stuff I'd love to clarify, but
言い訳のしようがないので。でも、この2日間、悪いことはしていない。
I
そ
mean,
う信
sure,
じ
I
たい。
almost died multiple times, but it's for a good reason. I can only describe these past 2 days as an endless flurry of death and carnage. I want to believe that I made the right choice. I got to help Arcueid, of course, but more than anything, I'm glad we managed to kill that vampire. Even if we weren't fast enough to save everyone, there'd be no more talk of blood-drained murder victims on the nightly news.
ごめんな、アキハ。迷惑をかけるけど、これ以上は聞かないでくれ。
Akia stares deep into my eyes. An uncomfortable silence fills the space between us.
そうですね。
Well, that was
考
easy.
えてみれば、兄さんにも事情があるのでしょうし、私がそれに深く干渉することはできませ
Yes,
んのでね。
yes, know your place, little sister.
悪い。そう言ってもらえると助かる。
There will be consequences, though. Now you'll have, like, no allowance, and your curfew's, like, fucking 5 p.m.
わかりました。この件に関して、これ以上の追及は勘弁して差し上げます。
This house will become your prison.
連絡をいただけなかった点については、私にも落ち度がありますから。
Yeah, almost like you fucking took my cell phone.
落ち度なんて、そんなのアキハにないだろ。
It's a modern convenience in this day and age.
携帯電話を取り上げたのは私です。
Mm-hmm. It's like if you're ever watching, like, sitcoms from the 90s, like, half the problems that happen, like, Friends, the episode scenarios, could be solved in 2 seconds if they had cell phones. But, you could have at least gotten him, like, a work phone, like a BlackBerry or a Nokia or something. Kind of a dumb phone,
あれがあれば、ズボラな兄さんでも連絡ぐらいはしたのではありませんか？
Yep. Looks like she doesn't know that my phone was secretly returned to me quite some time ago.
ですが、それも今回だけです。今後はこのようなことは控えてください。
Yeah,
兄さ
one
んは
mulligan.
遠野家の唯一の男性なんですから、もう少しご自分の立場を理解していただかないと困ります。良くない外聞が広まってしまったら、遠野家の今後の人付き合いにも影響があります
Yeah,
し。
think of the stock prices. We need to, like, marry you off or something, for like a company merger. understanding. Does she mean between me and the other dignified families?
いやー、それこそ問題ないだろう。俺が何しようと興味も持たないって、あっちの方々は。
Yes, but then it reflects bad on Akia for, you know, it's like, oh, can't even rein in, you know, that fucking kid on death's door, you know. How are you supposed to, you know, lead the family and the company?
だいたい、遠野の跡取りは秋葉なんだから、家のことを思うなら、俺をよそに出すなり、遠野の家にふさわしい婿養子でも見つければいいのに。
I'm met with silence once more. I wonder what might have caused it this time.
どうした？気分でも悪いのか、秋葉。
結構です。私を気遣う余裕があるのでしたら、ご自分の体調を気にしてください。慢性的な貧血持ちなんですから、兄さんは。
Yeah, you know, just give him his iron supplements in the morning and he's good to go. Boy needs to eat more fucking spinach and liver. Well, she's right. I do collapse frequently due to my anemia.
ともかく、あまりお一人で屋敷を出ないでください。そうでなくとも、近頃の町は物騒なんです。兄さんみたいにぼーっとしている人は、通り魔に襲ってくださいと言っているようなものなんですから。
Blown up downtown at the station because there's a 40-foot fucking crater in the ground now.
それなら大丈夫。あんな事件、二度と起きないよ。
Like a goddamn meteorite fell. Our town had been beset by a serial killer. While the modern-day vampire in the news, the killer lurked in the darkness, striking terror into the hearts of men. No suspects had been found. But all that is in the past now.
は？
吸血鬼はいないってことだよ。その犯人はもう捕まったんだ。
そうなんですか？それは良い知らせですが、兄さん、よくそんなことを知っていますね。
ああ、たまたま逮捕現場に居合わせたというか。
Saying those words make me smile wryly. It's technically the truth, one born of an incredible series of coincidences. So much happened during those 2 days I spent with Arcueid. Thinking back on it, it still feels like a dream. But at any rate, the monster that made its nest in this town is gone. I can't deny being somewhat proud of my involvement.
兄さん、どうしたんです？急に嬉しそうな顔をして。
Refer to the NDA.
別に何でも、ただ終わったんだなってようやく実感できた。
Yeah, the prologue's over. The weight lifted from my chest as I say those words puts a smile on my face. Ultimately, it seems that Akia has accepted my explanation. I thank her as I stand up.
いや、安心したらお腹が減ってきた。朝食をもらってきてもいい？
Yeah, almost like you haven't eaten since you fucking... Did you even eat that slop Arcueid made for you? I don't think he did.
私に許可を求める必要はありません。朝食まで管理する気はありませんから、ご自由にとってください。琥珀なら厨房で朝食の支度をしているでしょうし。
I might actually go get a real breakfast today. You know, because I need to go grocery shopping. I have nothing in the house right now.
サンキュー。じゃあ遠慮なく。
This week, I've decided that I'm going to hunter-gatherer max. You know, I've been eating nothing but wild rice blend that I have like in a 5-pound bag on top of my fridge, and like an egg for like every meal. So for like the past 4 days, my daily calorie intake has been like less than 1,000, and I need sustenance. My body is screaming out for like carbohydrates and processed things, sugar, salt, fruit, vegetables, anything. It's like you need it. And I'm like, no, I'll get fat. Except on the weekend. The weekends you can have a cheat day, which I desperately need. Otherwise, I'll probably kill myself. I make for the door. Ouch. plague is really killing me.
お待ちなさい兄さん。先ほどから気になっていましたが、今のではっきりしました。足を。
いや、これは捻挫というか筋を違えたというか、とにかく大した怪我じゃないんで気にしないでくれ。
そうですか。大したことはないと。
This one, she walks up and like fucking like a kickboxer, just like low kicks your leg and then you crumble to the ground screaming. Akia walks towards me briskly. Tono tai kiku. And then, you know, the Mutai guy comes out and kicks him in the ass and everyone laughs. If you know, you know. She looks me in the eye, and without warning...
Hey.
Close enough. She stepped right on the most swollen part of my left foot, like she knew exactly where it hurt.
あらびっくり。兄さんのポーカーフェイスも直接的な痛みには脆いのですね。
そりゃ弱いよ。っていうか俺の方がびっくりだよ。お前分かっててやっただろ。
誤解ですわ。大した怪我ではないという兄さんの言を信じて精一杯の勇気で試してみただけですもの。
Nothing was going on out there. You know, my broken foot is unrelated to the issue at hand. Akia flashes a graceful, oh so wicked smile. And it's clearly payback for me not telling her everything. Akia returns to the couch and elegantly lifts her teacup to her lips as though nothing happened. She seems to be in a fantastic mood now.
さて、確かに大した怪我ではなかったけど、放っておくのも良くないわね。
Yeah, if you scream that much, you know, just from someone stepping in for you, probably broke it.
兄さん、課長として命じます。朝食が済み次第、診察を受けるように。怪我の理由はともかく、大げさに痛がられるのは迷惑ですから。
Yeah. We'll go see. Is Arako, you know, have her splint our toes.
そりゃ診察は受けたいけど、怪我の理由聞かなくていいのか。
興味ありません。どうせくだらない理由でしょうから。
Don't even wanna know.
だいたい聞いたところで私には内緒なんでしょ、兄さんは。
It's better for your like standing in her head if she doesn't know. I got it. Akia answers curtly, the very picture of authority.
外傷のない捻挫なら琥珀でも対応できます。あ、そっか。今朝は荒木先生もいましたね。あの人はもともと外科の医師です。
Okay.
内科の琥珀と外科の荒木先生。
Let's just go.
お好きな方を選んでください。
Prefer not to get our foot dissected first thing in the morning. Huh. This is a little unexpected. I go with Kohaku because it's the first route, and you know, for CL we'll probably go with Eric? How do we pronounce her name? I need to hear it again. I'll have Kohaku look after me. I should be fine with a compress and some painkillers.
わかりました。では、食後は自室で待機しているように。私は午後から外せない会食があるので外出しますが、当主が留守だからといって、あまり羽目を外さないようお願いしますね、兄さん。
Some leftover hors d'oeuvres or something? Or hors d'oeuvres? Is there an H? I feel, yeah, there's definitely like a H apostrophe in the beginning of hors d'oeuvres. It's not just apostrophe O. I'm trying to picture the word in my head. I don't see it very often, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on. I'm not sure why, but Akia seems to be smiling with relief. Well then, I'll grab breakfast and have my leg looked at afterwards. Hi, Kawaku. Kawaku barges in, carrying a retro-looking wooden box.
悪いね琥珀さん。忙しい中わざわざ来てもらって。
いえいえ、今日は休日ですからお仕事も少なめですのでお気になさらず。四季さんのご指名ですもの。私などでよろしければいつでもご奉仕させていただきます。
It's because Arcueid is new and scary, and at least you know the fucking devil you know versus the devil you don't. Kawaku approaches my bed with a radiant smile.
ではでは診察のお時間です。ベッドに腰をかけてください。お加減が悪いのは主に。なるほど、左足だけではなく下半身全体ですね。
見ただけでわかるんですか？
Well, there's probably swelling.
はい、それぐらいは。免許こそ取れませんが薬剤師と整体師になれるよう子供の頃から鍛えられているんです。
physical therapy. Let's call it that. That's what it was with. Yep, it was just physical therapy. Pharmacology and physical therapy. So that's what Akia meant when she said Kohaku knew internal medicine. I sit on the bed and roll up my pants so that she can see my left leg. Kohaku gingerly palpates the leg with her hands. Every time her fingers touch my shin, I'm hit with the urge to cry out in pain. Oh, you get shin splints too. After a few moments, Kohaku looks up at me hesitantly.
四季さん、もしかして骨にひび入ってませんか？
There's a chance. Ah, so that's what it was. Actually, kind of glad it's just a fracture. Wouldn't have been surprised if she told me it was straight up broken in places.
そうかもしれません。でもちょっとだけですよ、きっと。
I mean, I've gotten, I bitch and moan about my shin splints all the time. But they were so bad at one point that my doctor actually sent me in to get x-rays to see if I had actually gotten like hairline fractures from like how bumpy and swollen it was. Turns out I didn't, which is good. But he's like, there's definitely a lot of fucking strain on your bones, so let's not have you running for a bit, okay? And then I went and got like my feet laser scanned and special orthotics made. And now I'm not red as rain because it honestly still sucks to run, but I gotta do it anyway.
こうして我慢できる程度なんですから。
明葉様のお気持ちがちょっとだけ分かっちゃいました。四季さんは平気なお顔をしていても、いえ、しばらくお待ちください。脾臓の軟膏などを持ってきますので、それまでベッドから動いちゃダメですよ。
Whatever you use in your private time scares me. The pitter-patter of her footsteps fades as she runs off down the hallway. Left all alone, I start to feel strangely guilty. I don't think I've ever heard Kohaku sound so sad. Come back with like a weird fucking opium paste. Yeah, slather this on your leg, it'll feel great. Kohaku's treatment is surprisingly professional. After applying the ointment, she taped my heel and gave me a cast for my shin.
いや、そこまで大げさにしなくても。
そこまでのことです。ご自分のお体を何だと思ってるんですか？
I mean, he's got plot armor sometimes.
そもそもこんな怪我をどこでこしらえたんです？四季さんの健康を任されたものとしてこれは見過ごせません。
Well, I jumped down into a big crater that was on fire, strapped myself to a boulder that was thrown, jumped down off the boulder, down a big rock slide tied together with vines, into ice spikes, and did my fucking EX super.
いや、それはですね。
四季さん、正直におっしゃってください。
And because I was at low health, it was like a rare desperation one that had a special animation and everything.
その喧嘩みたいなものです。 興奮して殴り合ったというか。
Yeah, there was this guy harassing this beautiful foreign girl downtown, and I had to save her. It's a weak excuse, despite being the truth, but I can't tell her any more than this. But I also can't brush her off like nothing happened, and that wouldn't be right.
喧嘩ですか？もうダメですよ、そんなこと。わんぱくなのはいいと思いますけど、暴力はいけません。手を挙げられた方も手を挙げてしま
Yeah,
った方
fights
も
are
痛い
dangerous.
だけじゃないで
I'm
す
not
か。
gonna say you see it all the time, but you do see like news stories about just like, oh, guy threw one punch, knocked him out, then he fell back and hit his head on the curb and died, and then now the guy's in court on fucking manslaughter charges. I guess there's no such thing as winning when that happens. As a winner when that happens. Kawaku's words strike a strangely powerful chord.
それはそうだな。
Also, you're
痛い
in
だけだよ
Japan.
な。
In the US, you just get shot.
殴り合いなんて
So.
さ。
でしょ。なのにこんな怪我までしてがっかりです。
At least I won.
どんな事情があったにせよ、そんなことをしていると四季さんを見損なっちゃいますからね。
There were extenuating circumstances.
ああ、俺もバカだったって反省中です。二度とこんなことにならないよう
And,
努力します。
there was a girl involved, so emotions were kind of high. Wasn't quite the right
分か
mindset.
ってくださったのなら結構です。
State of mind was compromised.
それでは上の具合も見ますから、服を脱いでくださいね。
はい。
Without a hint of hesitation, Kawaku stands up and grabs my shirt. She wants me to get naked right here and now. That much is obvious.
ちょっと待った。そこまでしなくていいです。痛いのは足だけだから。
何言ってるんです。両足もひどいですが、より厄介なのは肩や腰回りだと断言します。ほら、軽い炎症ができてるじゃないですか。
あ、いた。何？今のツボですか？っていうか、この悪辣な腕の取り方、もしかして小悪さんに生態を教えたのって次男委員のジジイでは？
That is doctor.
はい、次男先生にはしっかりと四季さんのお体について教えていただきましたとも。
That's his personal physician. You see,
悪辣
Toya.
ではありません。たく
Kawaku pinned me face down against the bed sheets like it was nothing. Dr. Jinan was a traditional doctor I used to see when I lived with the Arimas. I owe him a lot. Right now, I'd love nothing more than to pay him back for all this crap.
いや、それはともかく炎症なら自分で湿布とか貼るから
And you owe a lot to his
裸になる
daughter,
必要とかないってば。
That bitch is a criminal.
ははー、照れてるんですね、四季さん。
Kawaku smiles contentedly as she continues to pull my shirt off.
四季さんのお体なんて見慣れてます。いいから観念してくださいまし。
Wait. Let's go back on that. It
昨夜
it
もお
only
着
looked
替えを
like
さ
that
せ
because
て
I
い
was
た
in
だ
the
きま
pool.
した
It
から、
was cold.
背中のほくろの位置までバッチリです。
Normally it's not like that. Now that she mentions it, I was totally wearing my pajamas when I woke up.
ほら、暴れないでください。せっかく固定した足のギプスがずれてしまいます。
She's right, but that doesn't make it any easier to get naked in front of her.
もうでは
Look,
仕方あ
you
り
just
ませ
have
んね。
to abandon all shame.
私が見るのは背中だけにいたしましょう。それなら恥ずかしいことはないでしょう。
Maybe it's a military thing because we had to shower for 2 months, with 40 strangers, fucking literally butt to butt touching. Like things just happen, and you just accept that. Yep, I'm naked. You're naked. It's only weird if you make it weird, and you just learn that the human body is just a thing that exists, and it's not a thing to be ashamed of. Just fucking get fucking butt ass naked, dude. Kind of is, but it's still better than the alternative. And if I want to stick a compress there, I need to ask for somebody's help regardless.
そうだね。じゃあお願いします。
I give in to her persistence and release the tension in my body.
念のため消毒もしておきましょう。喧嘩をなされたのなら小さな傷を負っているかもしれませんし。
The disinfectant stings my skin. It was a busy 2 days. I must be covered in little cuts. Although it stings, it's nothing compared to the dizziness that comes with my anemia. Also doesn't hurt each time she applies the ointment. She coos at me.
男の子なんですね。
Even with the teasing, it was easier to bear with the pain. I guess Kawaku's cheerfulness can't help but rub off on me too. Kawaku wraps up her treatment. The past hour felt a lot more by the book than I'd expected. Kawaku really is something.
ありがとう琥珀さん。左足も痛まなくなったし、これなら午後もゆっくりできます。
いえいえ、どういたしまして。それではお仕事に戻らせていただきます。痛みが引かない、あるいは悪化したらすぐにお声をかけてくださいね。午後は厨房で夕食の仕込みをしていますので。
Oh god, my throat. Not gonna prescribe us any weird painkillers? Kawaku flashes a smile before leaving my room. Now then, I will choke and make weird throat noises as I pour more coffee, because, ew. It's probably because it's getting cold and I've slept with my AC on still, so I'm all icky. Ugh. Hot coffee, my beloved. How should I spend the rest of the day? I don't know, go, sit out and, look at the trees in the garden or something. It's a nice day. It's already afternoon by the time I finish my lunch. After my examination this morning, walking really doesn't hurt anymore. I won't be able to go all that far. Where should I spend the afternoon? Well, that was saying the garden, but are we actually going to go there? Yeah, we are. I'll take a walk in the garden. It's been a few days since I returned to the mansion, but I haven't walked around the garden even once. I'll go and see how it compares to my memories from 7 years ago. It's actually possible to enter the courtyard from the lobby. The exit is located just behind the main stairs. Ah, searing light. I walk out onto the terrace. It's the same terrace that stretches behind the parlor. When we were younger, this area was Akia's space whenever the weather was nice. But really, it wasn't so much her space as it was the edge of her territory. Akia didn't venture into the garden on her own. This terrace was as far as she could go.
そうだった。よく庭から声をかけて家庭教師の目を盗んだっけ。
I like the little pavilion you got out there, or whatever those little dome structures are actually called. I don't think it's technically a pavilion. I want to say they have a different name, but, I like it. I think she wanted me to come by here whenever we went out to play. She said it was unfair if we went to play in the forest by ourselves or something. Which meant it was my role to take Akia into the woods and then shoulder the subsequent scolding. I moved from the terrace into the garden. In the eyes of a child, the garden looked like it stretched on forever. But now that I'm older and taller, I can grasp it in its entirety. There are fewer flowers than there were 7 years ago. The general atmosphere of the garden has changed a bit. Well, yeah, considering they fired all the fucking help there is gonna be a little trickier to maintain a nice flower garden. You know, just put some nice shrubbery in there. After about 10 minutes of leisurely strolling, I arrive at the gazebo. This is where the garden ends. All that lies beyond is a dense forest. Being mindful not to overextend my leg, I decide to end my walk here.
それにしてもつくづく日本離れした屋敷だよな。
I mean, it is pretty, but at least put like a bench or a little, you know, table or something in the gazebo. You know, it'd make it a lot more conductive to coming out here. You know, oh, let's have, you know, a nice brunch over at the gazebo or something and enjoy the nature. But nope, just gotta stand there and be like, yep. Sure it's fun to just stand. I sit on a large rock and admire the vast garden in all its autumn splendor. From out here, the mansion feels closer to a castle. So out of place in this picturesque scene that I can't help but force a smile. I feel out of place, not it. The only people who'd seem at home in this place like this are Arcueid and... Yep, left without even getting her number. Rookie mistake. That astonishingly beautiful woman is the only other person I can think of.
なんだそれ。
I shake my head to chase away the visions. Why am I thinking about Arcueid at a time like this? Not like I'll ever see her again. Now that her target Flav is gone, she has no reason to stay in Soya. That's why it's pointless to think back on all that's happened.
だよな。もともとそういう関係だし、どうってことない。本当。
Best to just forget about it and compartmentalize it all, and then, you know, maybe write a short story about it in the future, and, you know, really get some pocket money. But I stopped myself short. There's no point in telling myself such a poor lie. Things may have calmed down since we parted, but that doesn't mean it feels great. Even now, I'm haunted by these feelings. Regret for the things I did, for the things I couldn't do. Although she brought me nothing but trouble, our time together was... well, it was fun.
バカか、俺は。
She almost got me killed. How did I get her out of my head? Oh, it's the suspension bridge, you know, effect. You know, when you're in high-stress, dangerous scenarios with other people, it's human nature, you know, it's built into your DNA to form close bonds with them, so... You know, it's just the chemicals in your brain tricking you, bro. The injuries from last night still scars my legs. Remember how Flav nearly killed you? You shouldn't want to go through something like that ever again. I sigh and leave the gazebo behind. I take my time on the way back too, wandering aimlessly through the garden. But my regrets refuse to set with the sun. And my thoughts continue to wander long after the light has faded from the horizon. I mean, you know where she lives, just like go see her after school. Knock on her door. She'll be asleep. You know she sleeps during the day. But she wouldn't mind you waking her up. My afternoon wasn't all that eventful in the end. After absent-mindedly wasting some time in my room, it didn't take long for dinner time to come around.
呆れた。いい加減忘れろよ、俺。
I forced myself to stop thinking about the blonde woman inhabiting the back of my mind. They say the sun sets quickly in autumn, but even so, it felt abnormally fast today. I must have lost all sense of time while thinking about this stupid stuff. Kia is seated in the dining room with Kohaku at attention behind her, while Hisui has taken her position behind me. Kohaku has prepared a full-course meal with Wagyu beef as its entree. Don't know if it's because of the Tono family manners, but Akia is passing the dinner in silence with a dignified look on her face. Kia returned to the mansion about an hour ago. Apparently, some unexpected problems arose that she had to dedicate most of her day to dealing with them. Yeah, meeting with the church, being like, how could you let all this shit, go down in your territory, Are we gonna have a problem here, Miss Tono?
翡翠、念のため聞いておくけど、うちの夕食って死後現金だったっけ？
I keep my voice to a soft whisper so that Akia doesn't hear.
いいえ、親族の皆様間での談話は自由に行われておりました。
It's just a little hard when, it's only two people.
じゃあ、アキハが黙っているのは単に機嫌が悪いだけ。
申し訳ありません。私には分かりかねます。あくまで憶測ですが、アキハ様はお疲れなのではないでしょうか。
Kind of vent those frustrations, being like, so, Akia, how'd it go? Oh, you seem tired. Was it
そっか。そりゃそうだよ
long
な。
talk,
いつも不機嫌だけど、
leading
今
questions,
は特にご機嫌斜めだし。ほんと、ご苦労様だこと。
I think she can hear you, my guy. She's sitting 3 feet away. I nod in sympathy. I should probably give her some space to relax, since her Sunday was ruined by extenuating circumstances. And I know better than to try to throw out a random topic. Yep, it's best to let sleeping Akias lie.
聞こえていましたよ、兄さん。
Yeah, it's not like it's particularly noisy in here, nothing to cover up the talk.
別に午後の視察で疲れているわけではありません。食事は静粛にが当家のマナーですから。
She glares at me sharply. I'm not surprised that she saw me talking to Hisui, but the fact that she actually overheard what we were talking about is terrifying. Just how good is your hearing?
もっとも、それも過去の話ですが。
Yeah, this is just a nice family dinner between siblings,
どうしても
Don't
話が
gotta
あ
be
る。
so stiff about it.
今日一日の出来事を語り合いたいというのであれば、その限りではありません。
Nodding in acknowledgement, I resume eating. Since I had a small breakfast and lunch, I had worked up a reasonable appetite for dinner. But tonight's meal is difficult to look at. Oh yeah, you don't really like meat. From the beef tenderloin to the foie gras to the deep crimson sauce, all the dishes remind me of what happened up to last night. Sudden murder, an impossible reunion, an equally impossible monster. Just as death had closed its grip around me, I also touched death myself. Not to mention, it was a long-anticipated farewell once we defeated the vampire. I'm pathetic. I've had the whole day to wallow and I'm still not over it.
それで、私の仕事ぶりをいたわってくれた兄さんは、午後の休みをどのように過ごされたのです？
No, we were thinking about other girls, don't worry.
ああ、俺のことか。午後は散歩に出て、部屋に戻ってからはずっとベッドで横になってた。
Well, at least you went out for a walk.
それは、また貧血ですか？
No, he's just brooding, thinking about girls.
いや、
He is
考
at
え
that
事をしてい
age.
たらいつの間にか夜になってたというか。体の調子は悪くないし、足の方も問題ないよ。
つまり、無意に時間を浪費したということですね。
You can call the walk in the garden like doing something. At least he went outside.
はあ、そんなくだらないことを堂々と口にしないでください。私は何とも思いませんが、他の人が聞けば笑い物になるだけですから。
have no way of rebuting her merciless words. But I'm curious about something she said.
確かに自堕落に思われる発言だった。
Hey, like you didn't study, you weren't, practicing an instrument, something dignified. Like, I don't know. I know Akia plays the violin, but you could have played the piano or something. And I think she would just play like the harmonica though.
というか自堕
Like
落
a
だっ
bomb
た。
instrument.
反省している。けど、秋葉は何とも思わないってどうして？
Could it be that despite her strict demeanor, she's actually pretty lenient with her close relatives?
どうしても何も
With big
当
bright
然でし
eyes?
ょ。私は党の指揮に何も期待はしていませんから。
Once a
兄
bomb
さんが
always
そう
bomb.
いう人であることは初めから承知の上です。
I see. There is a certain wisdom in that. You can't be disappointed if you're not hoping for anything. I'm truly at a loss for words.
いやー、ごちそうさまでした。
Please stop talking about nice food as I
ごちそう
haven't
さま。
eaten since I've
食
been-
後は習い事がありますので、私はこれで。兄さん、反省なされたのでしたら、今夜は早めに部屋に戻って、
Mhm.
勉学に励んでくださいね。
If all you're ever gonna be is, just a student, then at least be a good student. Akia rises from her seat and leaves the dining room. Sounds like she's got violin practice tonight. How am I supposed to keep up with someone this multi-talented?
四季さん、ファイトです。秋葉様に負けないで。
She's got a bit of a head start. You could take up like wood carving or something, Put those knife skills to use. Even if, well, can't really use the lines to make good cuts for carving, considering they're so warbly and random. Our resident mischievous housekeeper gives me some quick words of encouragement and a playful wave as she leaves the room with Akia. God, I used to play the cello as a kid. It's what I did in elementary school before I switched to the trumpet for middle and high school. And I actually like fucking damaged the tendons in my left hand playing the cello, trying to like stretch my fingers to reach like the far strings and frets. Like for my index finger on my left hand, I can just pop it nonstop. Like I can just do this all day. And my pinky tendon, if I extend my pinky all the way out and then try to curl it, it just locks. Like the top knuckle, it'll get like, say, what's that, like a 30, 45 degree bend, but the rest of the finger won't curl. It'll just be locked straight. And then, if I lessen the kind of like how hard I'm pulling on it, it'll just go normally. Or I can like really force it and it'll like snap and go down. But if I just try it with like moderate pressure, I know this is great for an audio format here as I'm, showing off my finger. But it just, there's something with the tendon in there, like it's misaligned or something, or I don't even know what could even be causing that, in all honesty. It just doesn't bend normally anymore. It's very strange. Anyway, my crippled hands aside, let's continue. After dinner, I take an early bath before returning to my room. I sit at the desk. Thinking back on what Kia said, I decide to open a textbook and make up for the time I wasted today. No matter how crazy my life has become over the past couple of days, I'm still a second year in high school. I've got a mountain of work to do.
いや、山積みなんだけど。
But no matter how hard I try, I just can't concentrate. Keep seeing them in the back of my head. Unneeded visions of a woman who I should have forgotten by now. Forgotten? Dude, it's been like a day. Like, it had been like a year, I can be like, I should be over by now, but it's not even been 24 hours, my dude.
ああ、もう今日はやめやめ。
Giving up, I fall back onto the bed sheets and stare idly at the ceiling. It's okay. Tonight is the last time I'll have to deal with this. It was an intense couple of days, for better or worse. It's not as if I could forget about it that easily. I'll need at least a day to cool down. Which is what I'm doing right now, just letting my mind wander. I pass the time in a daze, hoping to distance myself from those memories and wash away the impressions they left on me. As long as I can manage this, the things that happened will fade into the past. My eyelids grow heavy. Oh, stop, you make me tired. Can't go to sleep, I just woke up. My consciousness drifts away. And slowly but surely, darkness wraps my senses in its embrace. Thus, does my peaceful day off come to an end. I lie in bed and slide into a vague slumber, as if I can convince myself that it will all fade away. Sure, we'll save. No mysterious visitor in the night? Oh. Bumped the stick the wrong way. I slowly drift awake. My arm feels heavy as I reach out for my glasses. Looks like I've got a fever. The thought crosses my mind as though it were someone else's problem. I put on my glasses. My vision returns to normalcy, though a tinge of dizziness remains. The symptoms resemble a common cold, but it's just the flush of a light morning fever. It'll pass with time, like giving a cold engine some time to warm up. Someone knocks on the door. After waiting for a moment,
失礼します。
Hisui enters the room with a bow.
おはよう、翡翠。今朝もありがとう。
おはようございます、四季様。お目覚めになられていたのですね。
ああ、昨日はぐっすり眠ったから、着替えたらすぐに食堂に行くよ。琥珀さんにはちょっと熱があるから、量は少なめだって伝えてほしい。
Yeah, just some toast and jam.
かしこまりました。体温計は必要でしょうか？
No. Considering Kohaku, she'd probably get a rectal one.
いらないよ。どうせいつもの微熱だし。
それでは着替えはここに。食堂でお待ちしております。
Hisui bows and leaves the room. Maybe my imagination, but her bow doesn't feel as crisp as usual.
心配してくれてるのかな。でもこんなの本当にいつものことなんだけど。
I mean, you keep showing up and like basically dying on the doorstep, so it'd be reasonable that she's like, oh, is this like, is this it? Is this the last day? Is this when he finally, fucking gives up the ghost? I appreciate the feeling, but it's really no big deal. I mean, we want to talk about people who've had it rough. She should see Arcueid. Yeah, she was like in a fucking hamburger meat on the floor. Yeah, who do you think did that to her, dumbass? The wound of hers was no joke.
しかしガムテープはほんとないよな。見てるこっちの血の気が引いたし、今度会ったら。
Way to get yourself all depressed first thing in the morning, bud. I stopped before finishing the thought. There is no next time. We won't be seeing each other again. It's better to avoid getting involved with someone like that.
そうだ。それがいいに決まってる。
High time I get this through my head. Today is Monday. It's the beginning of the week, and I'm eager to get started. I wash my face and get dressed before heading over to the parlor. Aki is sitting on the sofa. It's just after 7, but she's already enjoying her post-breakfast cup of tea.
あら、おはよう、兄さん。今朝は早いんですね。
Yeah, actually up with the sun for once. My waking up early has Aki in a good mood, it
お
seems.
はよう。秋葉の方こそいつも早う。
All of a sudden, I'm struck with a bout of vertigo and grab my head. The dizziness persists. My body heats up like I've never felt it before.
兄さん、
I hear the sound of rustling clothes, then footsteps towards me.
どうかしました？顔が赤いけど、熱でもあるんですか？
Just a little.
いや、熱は確かにあるんだけど。
Akia comes closer and peers up at me from below. Strange. For some reason, it feels like it's worse when I'm looking at her.
少し熱があるようですね。昨夜はきちんと毛布を使いましたか？環境が変わったから調子を崩しただけでしょうけど、念には念よね。そこで待っていてください、兄さん。今琥珀を呼びつけますから、朝食の前に熱を測りましょう。
At least warm it up before you use the thermometer, Koaku, before you just jam it in. Akia looks over at the lobby. She's probably thinking about what's going on. She's probably thinking about going over to the kitchen and getting Koaku. I avert my gaze from Akia in that moment. As I do, my dizziness passes.
いいんだ、秋葉。琥珀さんを呼ぶまでもないよ。起きたばかりで体調が悪いだけだから、いちいち気にしないで。
Yeah, God, you're such a worrywart. Fucking give me some room.
体調が悪いのならなおさら放っておけません。風邪だったらどうするんですか？些細な病気でも兄さんには大事でしょ。免疫や抵抗力が人より低いんですから。
Visibly irritated, she brings her hand to my forehead. Her delicate palm is cold to the touch, enough to send a shiver down my nape. For the briefest moment, I cease breathing. He is right. Something is wrong with me today. Don't know why, but every movement of hers makes me tense. Just watching her causes my temperature to spike. The realization hits me that I might faint if she keeps touching me.
兄さん、随分と熱くないですか？
Kia's words ring through my skull. Feels as if her long, black hair and porcelain skin have evaporated into heat and trickled into my head. Oh, this is bad. But the feeling will fade. Also, that static sound effect, I'm pretty sure I remember that from Fate Stay Night. Like, it happened all the time. Like, is that just one of those sound effect files they've had saved on their PC for like 20 years, and they're just like, yeah, you know, we'll reuse it, fucking throw it on in. Fatigue must be causing it. My body hasn't had enough time to recuperate. Or I end up doing something incredibly stupid in front of Akia. I make my move.
よし、休養を思い出した。
Out the window. I brush away her hand and scurry off like a panicked rabbit.
四季様、朝食まであと5分ほどかかりますが。
Yep, just grabbing some toast with jam and then running out the door.
そうか、ありがとう。俺のカバンは？
カバンでしたらこちらに。
Hisui is as prepared as always. I thank her and take it in hand.
行ってくる。見送りはいいから。
お待ちなさい。熱があるのに何をしているんですか、兄さんは。第一、廊下は走らない。妹の言うことはきちんと聞くが我が家のルールです。おとなしく居間で熱を測ってください。
Oh God. Can't even run in the halls? Kia has come to the lobby to stop me. But luckily for me, your reluctance to run indoors is slowing her down.
悪い。ルールを守るのはまた後で。熱も下がったし、このまま学校に行ってくる。朝飯は勝手になんとかするから、今朝は多めに見てくれ。
Yeah, we'll like find something on the ground on the way to school. Do a little
なんとか
foraging.
するって。ちょっと、兄さん？待ちなさい。何ですかその言い分は。後で守るルールなんて、それじゃあ規則とは呼べません。
You know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and that's just, you know, what's the saying? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission or whatever. In an effort to escape Akia's objections, I burst out of the entrance. I clap my hands together and whisper a heartfelt apology to Akia in my head. Honestly, I'm grateful that she's concerned for my well-being, but I can't just be like... By the way, whenever I look at you, I get so dizzy I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Oh, she's so worried about my health. And who knows what kind of pain might be in store for me if I come clean. No, she'd just be blush and be like, Nissan, I didn't know you felt the same way. Breathing out a huge sigh, I finally settle down. I should be safe here. My assumption is that Akia wouldn't be immature enough to drop her schedule to come after me.
けど、怒る理由がルールについてなのが秋葉らしいな。
I laughed at myself, thinking back to what she said. She may be my sister, but I can't tell where her boiling point is. I just gotta poke
コ
the
ンビニ
progress
にで
before
も寄
they'll
ってい
find
く
out.
か。
My wallet's not doing too hot, but I ought to at least eat something. Why am I only ever hungry on days like this? Usually I'd be fine skipping breakfast, but today I'm starving. I'll just grab something small to hold me over until lunch. Again, stop talking about food. You're making like my mouth water just thinking about getting something to eat, anything. Only takes a couple minutes to get in and out of the store. I arrive at school 30 minutes earlier than usual. There aren't many students around. By my count, there's 2 or 3, including myself. Though in as little as 10 minutes, the front gate should be packed with students. Naturally, the guardrail is devoid of an unbelievably beautiful woman sitting in wait for someone. The athletic club's in the middle of their morning practice. I watch them out of the corner of my eye as I approach the entrance. Working up a sweat is actually pretty enjoyable. Something about it that makes me feel alive. I don't get runner's high. It's actually a genetic thing. I've done like some of those DNA tests, and one of the things they test for is like, are you likely to get a runner's high? And my results are unlikely, and they're true. I fucking hate running. People who enjoy running are defective. They have something wrong in their heads. But I never wound up joining a club. I don't want to burden anyone with my anemia. Plus, my doctor had strongly advised me against to avoid strenuous exercise. Join like the fucking ping pong club. Do a little table tennis. When I was a first year, I was invited to join a few times. I always told them, maybe next time. And each time I did, I felt the distance between us grow. In the end, the feeling of not wanting to get involved with others became a self-defense mechanism. Yup. Something something hedgehog. Isn't the time for silly sentimentality. I shout out some support to the clubs knee-deep in training before making my way to the main building.
あらら、おはようしきくん。今朝は早くない？
Hey, Noelle Sensei, don't think I forgot that weird fucking thing you did last time.
はい、ちょっと時間を間違えて。おはようございます、ノエル先生。
I run into Miss Noelle on the way to the classroom. She seems just as surprised as me to see someone around this time.
時間を間違えると遅刻するんじゃなくて、早くから登校しちゃうんだ。しきくんはあれね、勤勉かね。今時の若い子ならもっと気楽に生きていいんじゃない？
Do some homework I missed.
十分気楽にやってますよ。勉強好きでもありませんし。
Oh, but you got those nerdy little glasses on.
それより
Good student.
金曜日の無断欠席についてですけど。
あれね、大丈夫。お家には連絡入れてないから。
Thanks for not ratting, Teach.
たった一日のボイコットなんて普通だものね。しきくんだって
Hey, you
そ
know,
の
just
方
took
が
a
都
mental
合が良
health
かった
day.
でしょ？
It's fine. I used to do it in school, especially my senior year. Like, I had enough credits that I got out before noon, so it'd be like, fuck it. I don't want to go to school today. There's nothing going on. I got no assignments. I'm going to Boston. And would just drive down and be like, I'll go to the aquarium, walk around the harbor. Good times. But man, fuck driving in Boston. That shit's ass. Rule of thumb for big cities like that: if you're ever going to like Boston or DC, park outside the city and take the train in. Do not fucking drive and park down there. It's not as bad as it used to be, especially now that the big dig is done, and the traffic patterns are a little more manageable, but it's still not great. Boston is not a city to drive around in. It's not like New York where everything's laid out in a nice grid. It's an old city. It's more like driving in Europe where streets don't make any fucking sense because they're just laid out in arbitrary ways from fucking 400 years ago. Miss Noelle flashes a devious smile as she utters something I'd never expect to hear from a teacher. My savior. This must be what saved me from the full weight of Akia's fury. Actually, isn't Noelle being a little too lenient for a teacher? I mean, she's kind of just a substitute, so...
あ、しきくんたら頭固いんだ。先生は不真面目なわけじゃありません。生徒の自主性を尊重してのことです。だってみんなこんなにも若くて美味しそうなんですもの。一日ぐらい背伸びして遊びに行くのは仕方のないことだと思うの。
You are kind of a problem, huh?
いえ、遊びに行っていたとかそういうんじゃなくて。
You see, you're only allowed to say that because you're a beautiful young woman, but if a guy teacher just said, oh yeah, my students, they're all so young, I could just eat them all up, it'd be like, we are having a HR meeting, you are going, the fucking principal and superintendent are going to be there, and then you get fired.
なんて冗談よ。分かってます。例の貧血でしょ。真面目なしきくんが火遊びをするわけないものね。
Yeah, it was more playing with ice.
それで
Don't look
体の
like
方
that.
は大丈夫？痛いところとか残ってない？
Saul Goodman pose. Sounds like she was genuinely worried about me. Miss Noelle actually wasn't too far off the mark with her joke, but I don't want to be correcting her.
貧血の方はなんとか。今朝は特に調子がいいです。
さあ、それはよかった。じゃあ今日から気楽な学生生活に戻れるわね。
No more
と
crazy
ころで
side quest adventures.
慢性的な貧血という話だけど、しきくんはいつからそういう体質なの？
You
やっぱり
know,
生まれ
it's
つき？
after a fucking life-altering accident.
生まれつきではないんです。子供の頃に事故に遭って それ以来というか。
まあそれは気の毒に。それで運動をしなくなったり食欲が薄くなったりしたのね。それでどんなだったのかしら。
Stop asking leading questions, trying to poke holes in the story.
はい。
My voice slips out at the unexpected question. Miss Noelle licks her glossed lips and speaks.
だからどんな事故だったのと聞いたの。体がおかしくなるぐらいの怪我だったんでしょ。やっぱりすごく痛くて泣きわめくほど怖かったのよね。それこそ一度死んで生まれ変わってしまうぐらいに。
Oh, bumped my mic. I mean, not really. It was kind of one of those things where he got hit and then immediately probably lost consciousness. And was like in a fucking comatose state. An indescribable dread takes hold of me. Not from her insensitivity. It's been obvious from day one that she's a busybody. And I don't think she's great at reading the room. What makes me hesitate is that I don't remember a thing about the accident.
ただの事故ですよ。こうして
I
無
mean,
事だ
that's
し、
actually pretty
大
common
した
for
こと
like
じゃあ
big
りません。
accidents like that.
そろそろ時間だし、失礼します。
Like people don't remember like the day leading up to it. Like hell, even just getting concussed. Like we were playing soccer after work once, and it had rained the day previously, so the grass was still a little wet. You know, one of our guys, he like fell, like just slipped on the grass and smacked the back of his head on the ground. You know, it's just grass and dirt, but it was still a good hit, and we could tell like he like didn't get up right away. It was kind of like, oh, we're like, oh, go over. You know, these days we're like, hey, you good? He's like, what? Like, okay, like start asking some questions like, did you go to work today? He's like, what? No. And it's like, okay, we just came from work, so there's fucking something's not right here. You know, call the ambulance, fucking get him in, go to the hospital, you know, get scans, and you know, just get told, yeah, it's a concussion, and he gets his like medication or whatever. But you know, just head injuries like that just fucks with your memory. I bow before moving past Miss Noelle.
四季君、
I turn around in response to hearing my name.
体調がいいのなら今日からしっかりね。これ以上無断欠席はしない方が身のためよ。
The returnee from France winks before leaving for the faculty room. I thought I'd be the first one here, but a few of my classmates are already in the room.
早いな、遠野。金曜どうしたん？
おはよう。金曜は体調不良。そっちは朝練終わり？
そうそう。放課後の部活動だけじゃなく、朝練まで自重しろって話になってきてさ。首相を交代したばっかだってのに、こんなんじゃ統率取れねえよ。なあ。
Just do like some team building exercise in the club room or something. Even the sports clubs are feeling the effects of all this vampire business. Oh, that'll change soon. Stuff is over now. Things should go back to normal. Five minutes till homeroom. Just as I'm bracing myself for a full day of class.
やっほー、サボりまー。おはようございます。
A voice from behind sends my peaceful morning shattering into 1,000 pieces.
やっす、不良くん。金曜日はナイス無断欠席でしたね。
Was it? Just skipping? It's like, yeah, the way you skip school was so cool.
おかげで今朝また一段と元気ありそう。なんだよ、金土日と寝込んでたんじゃねえの？
寝込んでないし、貧弱でもない。
Yeah, just normal hooky.
金曜日はたまたま気分が悪くなっただけで、家に帰ったら回復したよ。面倒なんでそのまま学校は休んだけど。
You know, who's gonna come to school on a Saturday for like the half day when you're already not feeling?
マジか。あの豪華なお屋敷でのんびりアンニュイライフとか、たった3日でお貴族様の仲間入りかよ。相変わらず気も太いっつうか順応性高いっつうか、ほんと住めば都なのな遠野は。めちゃくちゃ羨ましくねえ。
All Arihiko puts up a brave front. I could probably learn a thing or two from him.
言っとくけど慣れてないぞ。お前な、あの家がどれだけでかいか見てないから。有彦、遠野の屋敷知ってるのか？
I mean, it's the big house on the hill.
うんにゃ、知らぬ。あんだけ高いところにあっ
I
て、
guess
か
it
つ
is on the
周りは
street
塀と
floor
林だろ。
flat there.
敷地の中に入らねえと見えねえだろ。
You wanna come over?
いや、デバガメ根性で見たいけどよ。でもほら、
I
オタ
mean, you
ク
are our
セキュリ
friend.
ティとかおすごいんでしょ？
And, you know, they'll excuse your rude behavior because, you know, clearly any friend of, you know, bum-ass Shiki here is also going to be a bum. So, you know, is what it is, you know, can't force a creature to change its habits, you know, its ways, its core essence.
俺が知るか。ああ、いや、恵子さんの話じゃ年に数回泥棒騒ぎがあるらしいけど、遠野邸に警察が駆けつけたことなんかないって言ってたし。
お前、それ年に数回族が押し入るのに警察が来ないって
Yeah,
そ
they,
れやばくね？あり地獄っぽく
handle
ね？
it internally.
どこが？
Just don't go digging in the garden. If they're catching the burglars before the cops can even get to them, I mean, the place's security is top notch.
いやだからよ、そもそも外に出てきてねえんじゃねえの？その泥棒さん。
なるほど。それならどんな噂も広まらないか。
We nod our heads in agreement. Afraid of where this train of thought might lead us, we quickly decide to change the subject.
そうそう、土曜の事故現場もう見たか？北口駅前の大火事、地下からの出火だったって話。
Yeah, I've seen a couple pictures.
いや、まだ見てない。話だけは
All
聞いてい
right,
るけど。
what was the church's cover story this time? Gas leak, gas explosion.
俺、北口に改装前のデパートあっただろ。あの前にあった公園がごっそり地下に陥没してる。あれひでえぜ。
What else
元
would
に
it
戻
be?
すの1年はかかるんじゃねえかな。
Underground natural gas deposit combusting.
でもまあ、悪いことばかりじゃない。警備員やらテレビ局やらが押し寄せてるんで、北口のバカども、なりを潜めやがったからな。
Yeah, those dudes were fucking assholes. You were right, bud.
そうなのか。じゃあ、倉見橋駅のホテルの話は？
倉見橋のホテルって、あのドームホテル？ああ、
Mm-hmm.
そういえばあっちでも火災があったんだっけ？北口の。
Well, at least the city's funeral homes are gonna be fucking making like gangbusters out here, you know, doing crazy business. I can't blame Arihiko for feeling so different about it. An incident of that scale, which claims so many lives, is still just a story from another town. We live in a time where we're flooded with news. Even when we hear something terrible, it's quickly overwritten by the next tragedy.
何にせよ、物騒なのは変わらねえってことか。
Mm-hmm.
そういうお前さんもどうなんだよ。遠野は中学からこっち、貧血持ちのくせに学校だけは休まなかったじゃねえか。ま、登校した瞬間に帰るっていう離れ技は何度かあったけどな。
It's like, you know, different commute. It's a long way, you know, didn't want to bother.
それと似たようなものだよ。交差点あたりまでは登校したんだけど、そこで気分が悪くなって帰ったんだ。
弓塚といいお前といい、最近素行が悪いんじゃないか。
We need to cook.
素行が悪いっていうのは否定しないけど、弓塚さんどうかしたのか？
I know, she's been gone for a couple days. It's real weird.
木曜からずっと欠席、今朝も来てね。あいつもずっと優等生してたからな。いい加減テンパってたのかもしれん。しかし不利点だから上がれないと。
You know, maybe she just like caught mono or something. Arihiko certainly has a way with words.
おっと、じゃ俺はこれで。さらばだ。金曜サボった分真面目に勉学に励むがいい。
Arihiko hurries out of the room. He seems excited about something. I guessing he's gonna hide out in the nurse's office. It's his turn to ditch class, it seems. So, we gonna get unexpected, totally expected visit from, Curry Senpai, seeing how we're doing after a big eventful weekend. The moment lunch break begins, Arihiko reemerges, yawning. It's obvious he's been sleeping this whole time. Oh, stop. Don't yawn. So one thing I like about my job is if you're on any shift besides day shift and there's nothing going on, they'll let us just be like, yeah, go to your car and take a nap or whatever. If we need you, we'll give you a call and wake you up. Just, be available if something goes on. Because it's like, if you're tired, I'd rather have you well rested and ready to go instead of, something happening and you're fucking out of it because you're delirious from lack of sleep.
殿、飯食おうぜ、飯。
I'm positive Arihiko's mind runs on an endless loop. Eat, sleep, sex, repeat. You think Arihiko fucks? I mean, he seems like he tried, but I don't know how much he actually gets.
そりゃ飯は当然のように食べるけど、いいのか、俺なんかに構って。
He's probably like
ラン
fucking
チは
jerking
先
off
輩と一
nonstop,
緒
but,
が、
that's
お前
probably
の
it.
マイブームじゃなかったっけ？
Huh? CO? Who's CO?
あ？先輩とランチだ？
Arihiko pulls a sour face at my question. She must have turned him down today. We lunch together. Arihiko is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after his nap.
宗谷駅前で検索と。何の新展開もねえな。
Yeah, even if the church has decided on their cover story, it's still gotta, you gotta wait a bit. They gotta do a quote-unquote investigation, determine the cause, and then, in a day or two, then they'll publish, what they think happened. Think in quotation marks. Phone in hand, he scours the web, looking for new information. Being disconnected from the world for even a few hours is a life or death matter. I think he was just addicted to his phone like every other teenager, but Arihiko is cut from a different cloth. To him, this isn't just a way of killing time. He's looking for ammunition to help him survive each night he spends prowling downtown.
ほう、また定番のコンビニレジ強盗ですか。店員
Boring.
刃物で腹部を刺され重傷、犯人はアルコール依存症。
Ouch.
言ったそう。酔っ払いに話通じねえもんな。やっぱ買い物は通販に限りますな。
So you gotta be a fucking shitbag to go rob a 7-Eleven. Arihiko continues to work his way through his lunch as he messes around on his phone. The modern version of a father reading the paper during dinner. But now isn't the time for societal critiques.
アリヒコ、食事時にその手のニュース読み上げるの楽しいか？
楽しくねえですよ。けど世間に興味を持たない間抜けな友人のために世の中の物騒さを知らしめなきゃならんでしょ。
someone wandering around obliviously downtown into, fucking, I don't know, in the Mexican cartels moved in and they're looking to, chop you up or something. Anyone who goes
聞い
to the
てます
church.
か、遠野くん。北口は倒壊するわ。酔っ払いは人を刺すわ。無差別に人を殺す通り魔はいるわ。他人事じゃねえかもなんだぜ。
それは確かに。でも通り魔事件はもう起きないんだ。北口の事故はどうしようもないけど、それ以外はいつも通りってことだろ。
そうなの？通り魔って捕まったんだ。
Yeah, I seen it.
いや、捕まってはいないだろうけど。
Yeah, the culprit is already dead. There'll be no more tacky headlines in the news about a modern-day vampire roaming the streets. Nor will anyone be killed so senselessly.
ともかく、もうあんなふざけた事件は起きないし、犠牲者も出ないってこと。街は元に戻ったんだよ。
しかし犠牲者は出ると思うぜ、遠野。
warming everything up.
出ないよ。なんで断言できるんだよ、アリヒコは。
He can feel it. The streets are talking to him. The city.
だっておい
Sending
今
messages
朝
up
で
his
9人目
spine
の
with
死体が
Morse
発
code
見されたっ
for
て
brain.
今ニュースで流れてる
Arihiko shows me the screen on his phone.
え
I can't believe my eyes. The site has a news update on the murders with a picture of the north side of Soya Station.
マジかよここいつも行ってる映画館の裏じゃねえか
Do you go behind the movie theater or to the theater?
待てもう一度よく見せてくれ
I take Arihiko's phone from his hand. It's not some crackpot theory or random hypothesis. Ninth victim of serial killer confirmed by police at press conference. He is emblazoned on the phone screen.
そんな
The revelation has me stunned into silence. Love is dead. I killed him myself. Then why? How can there be more body strain of blood turning up?
しかし現代の吸血鬼か相手が美人のお姉さんなら座れちゃってもいいんだがね
美人
Careful
の
what you wish for.
吸血鬼
Arihiko's words are like ice against my skin. I wouldn't mind getting sucked dry by a beautiful lady. He's obviously kidding, but it doesn't feel like a joke to me.
事件はまだ終わっていない
The discovery of a new victim means there's still a vampire in our midst. If we were to use the process of elimination, that vampire should be abundantly clear. Love is gone, which leaves only one vampire remaining. That, I mean, you know of, but... You know, you know what they say about making assumptions, bud. Don't assume. Classes come to an end, and school finishes for the day. Or maybe I should say school was over before I knew it. The worst possible assumptions had clouded my mind, and by the time I realized it, I was sitting alone in an empty classroom.
通り魔殺人はまだ続いている
Before, I wouldn't have given it a second thought. But she said it herself. She'd never killed any humans. I can't see her lying to me about that.
ニュースが間違いなのか
Yeah, it could just be an
Sort
old
of.
body they found. You know, from before you took him out. Only Arcueid would know the answer to that question. If I could just find her, I'm sure the pieces would all fall into place. Again, you say that like you don't know her fucking address. That's why I don't understand what I'm thinking. This is no longer any of my business. When I finished off Love, I went back to my old life. I did my job. My part in this should be over. I have no reason to dive back in. Why would I go back to all that craziness of my own volition? I should just go on home. Keep walking down this path as if nothing had happened. I'll go home. That has to be the next best alternative. Oh, I've been taught since I was little to always choose the best option.
どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
Mm-hmm.
そうだ
If you've got the power to change something, and you know the only thing stopping you is you.
何もしないって選択だけはしちゃいけない
Those words saved my life. Always tried to live by them. So I can't pretend like this has nothing to do with me. This isn't over. Now that I've gotten myself involved, it's my responsibility to see things through to the end. I leave the school. Although I don't have any idea where she could be, I still have the key to her apartment. So I'll start there. Think they fixed the back door yet?
いないか。
The apartment looks the same as when I last left it, but Arcueid is nowhere to be seen. There are signs that she's been here, though. I'm relieved that she hasn't just disappeared into thin air.
いいさ。そう簡単に捕まえられるなんて思ってない。とにかく、今は行動あるのみだ。
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could just, like, leave her a note, assuming she can read. I could wait for her here, but there's no knowing if she'll be coming back. I'll probably have to look for her in town, just like how I first met her. Just go skulking around back alleys. Sun sets over the city, paving the way for night to reveal itself. I take a look around all of the major spots. Don't manage to catch a hint of Arcueid.
どうでもいい時はひょこひょこ歩いてたくせに、どうしてこういう時に見つからないんだ、あいつは。
Now what do I do? It's still early in the evening. Oh. What do we do? That's a good question. Wander about the city. Because we're actually trying to find her. I'll continue looking. We only met by chance in the first place. And it's not like we're on good enough terms that we'd know exactly where to find each other either. If I don't want to rely on sheer coincidence to find her, I'll have to rely on my own 2 feet and a bit of intuition.
そうだよな。人に会いに行くっていうのはそういうことだ。携帯に頼りすぎだった。
In a time when no one had a cell phone in their pockets, if a person didn't turn up to a pre-designated meeting spot, you could figure out where they'd be based on their principles and lifestyle habits. It wasn't some kind of feral instinct, but something uniquely human that anyone could do, even in this age saturated by mobile phones. Fortunately, there's a limit to how far I can search. I'd be better off focusing on the residential area or the shopping district.
よし。
After some deliberation, I decide on the shopping district. On my way over, I'll be sure to keep an eye out as I pass the north and south exits of Soya Station. If she's still here in town, I'll find her. Whatever crowd was between us, I know I'd recognize her in an instant.
Yeah, ないわ。
Turns out my intuition sucks. Every time I feel like I'm about to find her, every time I think she's gonna be around the next corner of the station, I wind up empty-handed. It's been a while since I felt this useless. Actually, maybe the first time it's ever been this bad. I always tried to avoid overexerting myself since I knew when my anemia might flare up. Makes me wonder why I thought this search might be worthwhile. Considering I had absolutely no guarantee I'd find her.
でも夜はこれからが本番だし、あともうちょっとだけ探索を。
Yeah, if she is out, she's probably just doing cleanup operations, mopping up all the random fucking zombies and ghouls. My phone buzzes. I wonder who it could be. Arhiko? I look to see.
四季さ
Ah,
ん、急いでお屋敷に帰ってきてくださいますか？
ooh, yeah, it's 8 o'clock. That's your curfew.
なぜかというと、突然のお客様がいらっしゃいまして。
Oh,
とても素敵な四季さんのガールフレンドを名乗る外国人の女性と、朝の一件だけでなく、四季様がお帰りにならないことに不機嫌だった明葉様とかけます。
just adding fuel to the fire.
その心は？
Yeah, we need the fucking bomb squad here to defuse this. It's a strange text from Kohaku.
は？
My mind goes blank. Does this mean Arcueid is at the Tono mansion? I immediately conjure up a worst-case scenario, that my wits refuse to accept it. Stupid. Why didn't I realize it earlier? Made me think I could use common sense to pin down someone like Arcueid.
にしても意味不明すぎるだろ
I mean, you went to her house. Of course she'd go to your house. Like a hare in flight, I race off towards the Tono estate. Don't even want to imagine what Arcueid could be spouting off to Akia. And trying to picture Akia's reaction has me genuinely scared for my life. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. But, ladies and gentlemen, that will have to wait till next time. This big dramatic reveal, a confrontation of titans, you know, tearing apart the living room. But I'd imagine Arcueid's just having a nice chat and some tea. Because, you know, she may be stupid, but at least she's, I don't know, she's not that stupid. She, despite all, you know, appearances and behavioral mannerisms, she's still a princess. I imagine she knows how to behave in a nice-looking house, but we'll all have to find out together next time when we reconvene, because I'm really fucking hungry. I'm starving, dude. My stomach has been growling this entire time. I need to eat, so I'm throwing in the towel. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and notification. We'll see you guys on next time for the next episode of Tsukihime Remake, where we will reconvene and see probably not the cat fight we're expecting, because I just don't think that would happen. But it is new stuff. This didn't happen in the original. I'm pretty sure in the original, Arcueid never even met Akia. Or if they did, it happened off screen and they just never told us. Like when she fucking dumps him on the porch a bunch of times. Okay, I'm gonna go make some food now. Bye-bye, everyone. Mwah.